A few weeks back, major company and popular movie streamer Netflix shocked many with the cancellation of not only Luke Cage, but also Iron Fist, and most recently Daredevil joined the canceled Netflix genre as well. What's interesting is that Iron Fist Season 2 ended with Colleen seemingly being the wielder of the gold, and Danny and Ward overseas, while Danny shocked us all with a surprise on his own. Theoretically, Season 3 of Iron Fist, which at the time made sense, could have gone multiple ways, especially given the fact that Davos was still out alive and kicking, and Danny and Ward were seemingly headed elsewhere. Not to mention Season 2 left the door open for a show revolving around both Misty and Colleen that could have easily been titled Kicking Ass and Looking Sexy. Luke Cage ended with Luke accepting Mariah's gift and overseeing something that she herself held dear, leaving Misty confused in the process. But even this too left the door open, especially given the fact that we all know who Carl Lucas ends up having a kid by in the comics, now don't we? Iron Fist certainly had to prove itself come season 2, and though it wasn't a big boost, it certainly did more good this season than it did bad like its previous season. Luke Cage all in all was more or less the same as it was in the first season, though I found the latter part of season 2 mostly better than the latter part of season 1, and thankfully there was no sign of the Cranberry Pimp Diamondback. It's no secret that Daredevil is the most popular Marvel Netflix series in existence, because Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are just hard to beat, even if your name is Mike Coulter, John Bernthal, or Christian Ritter. But Luke Cage certainly had its fan base, and Iron Fist garnered a bit more support amongst the forums and popular sites after its significantly better season. And going back to what I said earlier, I doubt both the showrunners and writers for both of these shows would leave the series on such a cliffhanger like they did, and all of a sudden say, let's cancel both these suckers. It's just extremely suspicious that Iron Fist and obviously Luke Cage were both set up for respective third seasons, and all of a sudden, Destiny decides to arrive in the form of a cancellation. If this is the case, then why is House of Cards still on the air? Daredevil's cancellation is perhaps the biggest shock of all, given that it's not only one of the most popular shows on Netflix, but even more so that there was certainly room for a fourth season. Agent Poindexter certainly was set to be the bullseye, and Fisk is more than capable of making power moves behind the scenes. It's confusing that Netflix would want one of their most well-reviewed shows to be canceled and for it to not continue. I seriously can't believe that Daredevil was set to close in its third season. I just don't buy it. All this added to the fact that the showrunner of Daredevil pitched an idea for a potential season 4, similarly to Luke Cage, and now instead of getting a thumbs up, it seems Netflix instead said, see you later. Or was it actually the power of Mickey? While the report is that Daredevil will quote unquote live on, I have a hunch this will mean probably either on Disney Hulu or Disney Plus. I guess this is all necessary to make things perfectly balanced. And aside from my worries about the X-Men joining the MCU, combined with the recent announcements that the Disney Fox deal, also known as Fox bowing down to Mickey, will potentially be ready by New Year's 2019, it's almost blatantly obvious that Disney may very well be behind the cancellation. Let's not forget that along with Fox's movie studios, Disney will also gain access to channels like FX and streaming platforms like Hulu, which coincidentally enough is already home to a show I enjoy, Marvel's Runaways. But beyond that, it's no secret that Disney will launch its own streaming platform come 2019, Disney Plus, which will include Frozen 2, the live-action Lion King, and will also be home to that new season of Clone Wars. Many people have expressed reasonable concerns, and there's no telling how much the service will cost. And given how huge Disney Plus's and Disney Hulu's catalogs will both be, what better way to draw in more consumers than by adding the former Marvel Netflix stars? With Marvel being something Disney owns and ABC being something that Disney also owns, it's no secret that Luke Cage and Iron Fist may very well wind up on Disney's streaming service along with the rest of the goodies and the goofy chuckles that come with it. While this may excite everyone, I certainly have my reservations if this ends up being the case. I'm certainly not telling everyone to get their hopes up like I did with Thor Ragnarok, but it certainly adds up if you think about it. Because even the narrative that Luke Cage's cancellation was due to creative differences just doesn't make much sense. The Marvel Netflix shows are mostly intended for mature audiences, and I can't quite figure out what extremes in Season 3's potential story could have caused disagreements between the showrunners and the studios. After all, do we remember what Jessica Jones did to Luke with that shotgun back in season 1 of Jessica Jones? And while the thought of all Marvel heroes being under one roof, while that may be exciting for some, I for one enjoyed my variety that I got with heroes like Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones being on Netflix, and heroes like Spider-Man, Captain America, Black Panther, and Iron Man being in the movies. I guess the lighthearted comedic side of things we got in most of the movies, or we get in most of the movies, and the hard-hitting street-level heroes appearing on a platform like Netflix, that to me worked for the most part, even if sometimes it was a bit too predictable. Even now, it's hard to picture John Berthel's Punisher in an MCU film, just like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is hard to picture on any other former or still present Netflix series, and I doubt that Sony would allow it. Regardless of what I say, conspiracy or not, Iron Fist and Luke Cage to me certainly had potential, even if they were the less popular of the current running or slash former Marvel Netflix shows. And we all know Daredevil needed a season 4. There's certainly other streaming platforms and cable networks that could pick up either show, but ironically enough, this is likely something that will have to first be approved by Disney, because once again, Disney is Marvel just like the channel ABC is Disney. At the very least, I sincerely hope that whatever is planned next for the characters, that the Netflix actors continue to keep playing them, because no one can replace Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Despite a stellar season 3 for Daredevil and Punisher season 2 and Jessica Jones season 3 seemingly being the lone two shows left on the horizon, it seems that we may indeed be in the last days of Marvel's Netflix glory. And when they are all done, none of these shows will still actually exist.